Card from Backstreet Boys.
Shout out to Boy Band Break.
It's Kirkpatrick here. Shout out to your podcast, Boy Band Break.
Everybody, this is Howie D, and I'm listening to Boy Band Break.
Hi, Ashley Parker Angel here. Huge shout out to the Boy Band Break podcast.
This is Brad from LFO, and you are listening to Boy Band Break.
Hey, what's up? This is Jacob.
What's up? It's Dan.
What's up? It's Trevor.
And it's Eric Michael, and it's time for Boy Band Break, baby. Let's go!
Welcome back to Boy Band Break, where we encourage you to take a break from your day and join us in some boy band conversation. As always,
I'm Cinzia.
I'm Sofia. And I'm Lydia, aka Mama Lou.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back, everyone. So we had a very exciting event that occurred yesterday when we're recording this. Would have been a few days ago, but we got to see a concert.
Which one? Let's show the picture.
So I guess this is our first concert of the year.
Yes.
So it is the Pop 2K tour, hosted by Chris Kirkpatrick of NSYNC, featuring Smash Mouth, O-Town, LFO, and Ryan Cabrera. This was at the OLG stage at the Niagara Falls View Casino in Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, on June 1st.
Because O-Town decided to come back to Canada.
Yay! Their first foray back. It's been about 4 years since they were last in Canada, which I think might have been a show that we went to. I think it was the one with Aaron.
Yes.
In 98 Degrees in London.
Yes.
Aaron
Carter. Yes. This was just the beginning of his.
Oh.
But that was a really good show. And Diane and I had done the meet and greet, and it was like there was like a river behind us.
Oh, I remember.
It was like, oh, wow, it's so pretty.
That was a nice one. Yeah.
So anyways, so we're like, yes, let's do it. We're going. It's Chris and O-Town. Of course, we're going to go to this show. Our friend Alan is a bit of a high roller at the casino.
Yes.
So he was able to get a free ticket for himself and Lydia.
Thank you.
And they were going to be the mystery tickets because you don't find out until the day of the show what you get. I need to be closer than that. So Sofia and I purchased real tickets. Long story, extremely short. Yes.
The Ticketmaster thing. Explain that part.
Okay, so I'm a little bit nuts. So I keep track of all of the ticket sales when they, because you know you can see the little blue dots that say which tickets are available and stuff. So I may or may not I made a spreadsheet that was tracking like the ticket sales and how far they were doing. So it was doing like well. And we had pitched it for our radio station. I was hoping we would get free tickets. We did not because it was selling enough that they didn't need to promote it. And then I also asked our rep to see like, hey, maybe because we're on Boy Band Break, maybe they'll give us some free tickets. Also a no. So anyone who thinks that we get free stuff for being on this podcast, we do not. But if you have free stuff and would like to give it to us,
we will accept it.
We will accept
graciously.
It. So, at this moment, we do not make anything. So anyways, I was keeping track of the tickets. There was some good ones, like the front row was still available, but it was ridiculous. It was like the Ticketmaster official platinum where they scalp themselves, and it was about $250. I'm like, we have seen O-Town in the States last summer for $20 and $40. So it's a bit much. Love them, but a bit much, right? Obviously it was a better venue because when we saw them in Xenia, Ohio, it was the middle of a field and it almost got canceled because they didn't have power because it was too hot.
Yes.
So that was an interesting. And then the other one we went to in Kalamazoo, Michigan was a Rib Fest. Yeah. And they were just
and we could have gone in for free almost because
so we bought the tickets in advance and the other people are checking people in and they're like, yeah. And I was just like, bitch, we spent $80 on tickets that we didn't need to because we were like, okay, but now you could probably sneak in or maybe
probably just walk into a Rib Fest.
Yes. Like I was just here. Anyways, that has nothing. So I'm like, so as much as we love them, we don't like to spend that much money. It's a lot.
Especially if you've already spent money.
So like the regular tickets started at like $87 and they had tickets like $50. So it was like, I wasn't okay. It wasn't like crazy expensive. Yeah, and they had the whole bottom and then I believe the top of the balcony, maybe like the first few rows. So there was a good turnout. So I'd been like checking the thing and there was still like some decent seats available and there was about 400 tickets available. So I go, like maybe we'll get these fourth row ones, but let's just wait a little bit longer to see if the other ones go down. So then she's like, oh, all the tickets are almost gone. I was like, what? Like I just checked yesterday.
That bachelorette party.
And I was just like, unless the bachelorette's picking up these 12 tickets, like nobody's going to. So yeah, apparently they did. So then the next
Whoopsie.
day it went from like 400 tickets to 33 tickets, and we're like, we're running out of tickets, so we need to buy. So we ended up with third row, which was
This is
awesome.
good, yeah.
Good seats, third row center.
Good view.
Yes. So we did well, except for that really tall man.
yeah.
Always.
It's always a
Always,
tall
this man was like 700 feet tall. I don't know. I'm short, guys. I'm like 5'2.5". So
Mhm.
everybody's tall, but this man was legitimately tall.
Yeah.
Yes. So so anyway, so we got the tickets, and then we do the post-it note thing.
No, we didn't.
No, talked about yeah.
Okay, so Lydia
It was a
doesn't
very
listen to me.
convoluted plan.
Lydia doesn't
to
listen
do.
to me when I talk, so I had to
If
write
she
out.
says more than 3 things, it goes.
Lydia's like,
To be fair, there's a few of us, so we all need to like come together.
coordinate.
from different cities.
Sorry,
so
4 of us.
So this was a 2-day plan. So yesterday and today of the day we're recording.
it's taped onto my
So
wall.
Lydia actually she streams on Twitch every Tuesday and Thursday from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And under Dorkalicious.
Twitch.tv/super_dorkalicious.
So yeah, so she does that if you're into Roblox.
Roblox and Fall Guys.
Yes, so that's what she does. So because she has a bunch of followers, she didn't want to not stream, so she decided she was going to stream earlier in the day. So that was the note. So stream early.
Mhm.
Then our friend Alan was going to go to the casino and get Lydia and Alan's tickets and get the hotel room because he was sleeping over. Then me and Sofia were going to go to the casino. Then Lydia was going to drive herself to the casino. So now we're up to 3 cars. Dinner, possibly. The concert was at 8:30. Then Lydia and Sofia were going to drive back to Hamilton. Lydia was going to drop Sofia off at my house so she could sleep there. I was staying in Niagara Falls because I had to work in St. Catharines, which is only 20 minutes away, at really early in the morning. And I knew I did not want to get up that early after a concert.
Mhm.
Then I drove back to Hamilton. I worked the reception because our receptionist on vacation. Lydia slept in.
I did. It was great.
Sophia
I
watched TV.
slept and watched TV.
Then I arrived back, had lunch, and now we're podcasting. So
Hooray!
the list works, guys.
It's
All of
complete.
the
It
things were there.
All
We
the
did
steps.
Step by step, we had it there. So.
Step by
Well
step.
done, team.
Ooh, baby. All right. So, anyways, so Sophia and I were going back and forth about which VIP we wanted to get because obviously, so I don't think Ryan Cabrera has them.
No, I don't think so.
What?
Brad, you know what? Now that I
Cabrera?
think about it, Brad usually has them, and I don't. He did.
Yeah.
I don't know if he didn't sell them or if nobody bought them.
I don't think so.
because normally he has the shoe people who bring his shoes on
Yes.
stage and
or the
stuff.
water, right?
And the water
somebody brings them
person.
water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
nobody
I
had
don't
that.
know. Maybe they did. Maybe he didn't offer it. I didn't look into it. Sorry, guys. But normally they will do their own VIPs, and you just kind of have to find it on their official website. So I was debating between Chris, who is lovely man, and Cheaper or O-Town, and we were trying to figure out because O-Town does after show selfies.
Mm.
So you buy a T-shirt and you get a free selfie or whatever, or in this case you bought a selfie and you got a free T-shirt. I don't know, whatever. So they do that. But there wasn't any confirmation if it was going to happen because their manager Joel wasn't sure because to bring merchandise over the border is complicated. You got to fill out a bunch of forms. There's a lot of tax issues. There's things like that. So they did bring some, but he wasn't 100% sure if it was happening or not.
So maybe they made it here in Canada so I wouldn't have to pass over.
Maybe that would be smart to
I don't
do
know.
because this is the only Canadian date as of now. So I don't know if they're going to add some later, but anyway, so we hemmed and hawed, and then we're like, you know what? They're not answering my questions. We'll just buy it. So Sophia and I are like, at lunchtime, we looked, they were still there. We're like, perfect, we'll buy it. I had asked our friend Deli a couple of questions, and then we were talking to Cherry. I was talking to Cherry of North of O-Town. So she had answered a couple of questions and she was going to the meet and greet. So I was like, okay. And she's like, yeah, it's going to be at this time. I'm like, okay, that's doable. Cause I wasn't sure also like how early I had to leave work. Right.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, Sophia's like, okay, I got to get back to work. I'm like, I have stuff to do. We'll just buy them after work. So we go buy them after work and they are no longer available. So I was
boo.
like, great, wonderful. So then I emailed Deli and Cherry and like, do you guys know if they maybe sell more or if we can buy them at the door? And they're like, oh, email Joel and maybe he'll help you. So we emailed Joel, the tour manager, and he's like, yeah, that's not a problem. But like, you'll just have to pay cash. And I was like, wicked. We're in Canada, so how much Canadian would it be? He's like, oh, good. Then he wrote back. He's like, oh, never mind. I figured it out. We got a credit card. It's good. Meet us here at this time. Beautiful. So we went about our day. I was working. Sophia was off, and whatever. Anyways, to get here, we finally get to Niagara Falls.
I do want to say,
Yes.
I got Canadian money out just in case because I'm a planner.
Sophia is a planner.
And I want to make sure just in case, because you never know, things could happen.
They definitely
they
can.
did.
Yes.
So I'm glad that I had money out.
Yes. So good job, Sophia,
Yes.
for being a keener.
Yes.
So we get to Niagara Falls. Alan was already there. We got to parking. I brought my stuff upstairs. And then pretty much like we hung out in the hotel room for a few minutes. There was really nice picture Sophia took of the rainbow. Hold on.
Yeah, he had a nice.
Was that? Did you put it on Facebook or is it on Instagram?
It's on
It's
Facebook.
on Instagram.
Instagram.
Share screen.
Share screen.
Share tab.
Instagram.
Share. Share.
That's not the one. How do I get out of
X.
here?
It's right there.
There it is.
Look
Yeah.
how pretty this is, guys.
It was beautiful.
It's like, okay, maybe
So
you can't
that's
really
our
see, but there's
Canadian
like
side.
there's the like the rainbow right there. There's a nice horseshoe falls. This is every Thursday in the summer. They actually have this outdoor like barbecue picnic area that they do. So
Which is
food
fun.
trucks.
which is what we were hoping we were going to do, but then the time got changed for the meet and greet, so it ended up not working out. But
And there's another picture for the American side.
and then
I
so this
believe.
is our lovely Canadian side, and then there's the
Yes.
American. Just a sad little straight.
Yeah, we
flat.
get the horseshoe. We're lucky.
Yay
Yeah.
us! There we
Yeah.
are.
Woo!
So beautiful and gorgeous.
Mhm.
Okay. Anyway, so we determined, okay, we're here, blah blah blah. So we decided to go, and I was thinking in my head, I'm like, should I take cash out? I'm like, oh no. He said there's a card. We're fine. So
Surely.
we were supposed to meet at like 6:30. We're like, okay, it's like 6:00. We'll see it because it does take a while. Because
Yeah.
so the OLG stage is actually across the street from Fallsview Casino. So in the casino, they have this like small Avalon ballroom, and that's where we saw 98 Degrees. And it holds about like 1,600 people. But this new OLG stage, which has only been open about 6 months, holds 5,000 people. And so it's really nice. So you have to walk over this like bridge over the not over the falls, over the street.
Yeah.
And you get to the other side, and you kind of like go through
you
a
have-
maze.
Yeah, you have to go
And you
up
go
and
to like
down.
a restaurant.
And there's the Brasa Steakhouse, which is funny because anytime I've gone to a concert, well, like there's a whole horde of people like walking over this bridge, and then the people at the steakhouse are like because you're all just like walking by them, like, what are these weirdos all going towards? Like,
But there was
some of your
nobody
steak,
there,
because they
so
never do.
this time it was
No,
okay.
it was not open yet. So anyway, so we ended up going. So Sophia and I are just like awkwardly now hanging out by this OLG box office.
Yes.
And like all the employees are showing up for work, and no one is questioning us. And we're just like,
So I was like, wow, the people are like,
I
they
was
don't
just
care
like-
here. Okay.
we're like, alrighty. So then I did a message Cherry of North of O Town. I'm like, hey, we're here. She's like, okay, I'll be right down, because she was staying in that hotel. So it was just like she just had to come down the elevator.
So what is North of Hotel?
She's a
fan.
She's a fan of O
Oh,
Town.
okay. I thought it was
them.
like,
So she
is
helps
it part
promote
of
them
the-
and stuff.
Okay,
yeah.
I thought it was part of the fan club or something.
No,
No.
that's just her account. So,
Okay, awesome.
So anyway, so we ended up like we're hanging out, and then some other girls came, and they were like super fun. And then we ran into Laura and Sam, and which is really funny because we actually met Laura. I don't know if Sam
Laura.
was there,
No, I
but
don't
Laura
think so.
for sure. Back in God, what year was that?
Ottawa, 2019.
2019,
For the BSB.
when we went to go
VIP.
see, yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Which is
wow.
one of our favorite like VIP pictures
Yeah.
for sure. That's the one where I accidentally ran my head up Brian's ass.
That's the one we did like
Because it
the
was, like,
fan.
it was
Yes,
it's a funny
yes,
picture.
yeah.
It's funny. Anyways,
And then we did DNA.
so we did we
Yeah.
did that. So anyway, so we had met her there, and then we randomly met her again outside Chili's when we accidentally went for dinner, and O Town was there.
Right. Because we're like,
So-
oh my God, are you from outside from Chili's? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, oh
She's
my
like, oh my God, blah blah blah. So it was pretty funny. So it's nice
Yeah.
to keep reconnecting, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, that was a good Chili's. Well, go look. I think it's my 40th birthday
Yeah.
episode, and we
Mhm.
talk about all that and how Lydia rushes out and grabs Trevor's hands like, you're a very beautiful
Yes.
man.
That was like
It
one of the
was-
funniest parts.
It was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life,
Yes.
and it was fantastic. But anyways,
Where did she come from?
and the reason why, so we found out the reason why they were at Chili's because O Town has 3 levels of VIPs. So they have like the regular one, which is just
Stop covering your mouth. when
they
you
have
talk.
the regular one, which is like a little acoustic sound check, and then they take pictures. Then they have the next level up where you get to be on stage for a couple of the songs, and hang out backstage a little bit longer. And then they have like the ultimate one where you like hang out with them kind of all day and do stuff, and you can watch the show from anywhere. So it's like It's very cool.
Yeah.
It's very expensive.
But
if
you
I had money,
that's
I
worth it,
1,000%
right? Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it sounds like the greatest. Sorry. It sounds like a super fun time because the guys of O-Town are super fun. So
Yeah.
no one had for each show they only show 2 of the ultimate VIPs, and then all access, and then ultimate. Which one? One of them is ultimate, one is all access, and then so the next level they have 4, and then they sell as many of the other ones. Anyway, so we're there,
So
and
only 2 people get to go.
so
like,
only
everywhere.
2 people get to go everywhere. 4 people plus those 2 people get to do like go on stage during the show and record and stuff. So for this one, they had 2. They didn't sell the high level one, but they sold 2 of like the regular, like the mid level one.
Mm.
And I would say there was probably maybe like 15 of us.
I think for the
actual
yeah, I
movie,
think it was like 16.
something like that.
Yeah.
So it was a good amount. So we're waiting and waiting and waiting. So Joel comes and he like starts checking people in. So he has the Square reader, and I was like, "Okay, cool." Then I go put my card in. It doesn't work because Square is really ridiculous because it's landline. It's tied to a country. So we have a Square reader. So I guess we can only accept Canadian cards. Theirs is obviously an American one, so they can only accept Americans. So we're like, can't do that. I'm like, okay, can I can get some cash? And he's like, oh, we're going to go in soon. So I'm like, okay, let me just ask if there's one in the venue. She's like, I don't know, at the casino. I'm like, do I have time to run? Joel's like, we'll figure it out. I'm like, I have PayPal. He's like, okay, we'll get Jacob's PayPal. I'm like, okay, cool. Then we're waiting because some girls had some issues with the tickets, and we're like chatting. Everyone was like super lovely in this group. Like, a lot of them look familiar. They're all some of them were from like Buffalo, some were from like Toronto area. So it was like a good mix of people. So we end up going up. So they take us upstairs.
Oh, can I just say
Yes.
mine? Sorry. And then because that happened, I said I have cash. How much is it? Because it's Canadian dollars.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell me if it's a conversion.
Yes.
So what is the price? So then we had to go on Google
and then we
check the.
And,
I was
and
like, I think it was
Sophia
like 340 or whatever.
Whatever.
I think it was like 340. And then
Mom's listening. Shush.
Oh,
it was
but
an
it's
amount.
me.
It wasn't. It was.
Okay, sorry.
It was
can
a
take that one
very
out.
fair amount.
It was.
Sorry
That
about
was
that.
less
So,
than
yes.
that.
So anyway, but we got these really cool lanyards.
Yes.
So there is the guys there, and then in the back it says O-Town VIP. It is dated.
And then we got
these backstage pass stickers. It says pre-show on it. So, ooh. So I was like, can we just scratch off the pre-show and then like, yeah. So apparently because it was a casino venue, like according to Joel, it was like very complicated to get all like the access and the like to get clearance. That's the word.
Okay. There you
So
go.
he's like, so if somebody came on site and wanted to buy the ultimate VOP, he wasn't allowed to sell it because he had to already clear the access earlier in the day.
Oh man.
So,
that's rough.
Also because the sound check was really early, because I think he said it started at noon. I think O-Town did theirs around 3. That was too early for VIPs, so that's why they ended up taking us to do an acoustic performance. So if you want to check out our YouTube page, we have Minor up. I think there's 3 songs. So Sophia has it on Facebook. But yeah, so anyway, so we're walking up, and it's a very much a hurry up and wait. Now we're at the next
But
step.
we're good at that because we're with Backstreet Boys.
It's much faster than Backstreet.
Yeah.
So we're waiting. So then we get through this door. So there's like a bathroom, and then there's this like door. So like, okay. So we start like wandering through this hallway.
Okay.
So now we're like wandering, and then it's there, and then we're there, and I'm like, and again, it's a very clean new venue. So it was very stark white, but also kind of like long ass thing. And I'm like, what is this? Like a murder hallway? As we're getting, and as soon as I said that,
I was like, oh my god, someone's gonna definitely go.
then Trevor jumps out at the people in front of us
Oh my
and
God.
scares the crap out of them.
Yeah.
And it was the funniest
It was
thing.
funny.
He was like waiting there, and then like there's like a little like stool in the area, and Dan's pretending to like sign people in, and Eric's just like wandering around with his cup of tea. And Jacob, I think, had the guitar at that point.
Yeah,
or
Jacob
something.
had the
Cover your
guitar.
mouth.
Had the guitar at that point. So then,
and then Trevor was like, "Oh, the elevator girls."
oh, we forgot about that part.
Yeah. Okay.
So we were like, oh, I wonder if they're staying at this hotel. I'm like, yeah, they should be because
Yeah.
they're performing. Why wouldn't they stay at this
Right.
hotel?
Right in there.
Yeah.
So as we're like going down the elevator, get to the lobby, I see this guy walk towards us to go into the
I
elevator.
noticed him too, and
I was like, oh man, he looks like a boy bander. And then my slow ass brain was like, and I was like, hey Trev. And then he's like, oh hey. And then
I was like, hey Trevor, see you at the show. And he's like, and then he comes out of the elevator and he's like, hey. And then I was like, and then see a VIP, and then he's like, let's go. And then he goes into the elevator
So
again.
the funny part about this is I said, hey, Trevor, because I was trying to be all nonchalant in passing and kept walking thinking he was going into the elevator. Did not realize he had popped out. And
Aw.
I thought Sophia was just like yelling at him in the
No.
elevator. No.
He came out to say, hey, and then let's
did
go.
not
So
see
we have
that.
VIP.
So
That was
Very
fun.
nice.
So then Soph and I were like, okay, well, I guess he won't be that. I guess it's not starting anytime soon
That's
because
right,
he's
yeah.
at the hotel right now, right? So anyway, so we had gone. So this was before we had gotten there.
Yes.
So then, yeah, you're right. So as we came up, he's like, elevator girls.
And then he gave us high fives.
He's like, high five.
That's
Like,
sweet.
which is hilarious because, like, I know it's not a big deal, and it literally happened an hour before.
Yes.
So I'm sure it's fresh in his memory. But when we had done that shit show in Niagara Falls, New York, and we had seen them at Chili's, first of all, when we were there, Eric was on his phone the whole time, so we did not take a picture with Eric, right?
Yeah, no, we didn't.
And then Eric got into the Uber and left with.
But he waved. So I don't know.
Who did he get in with? Did he go by himself?
Dan, isn't it Dan?
Dan, because we had Jacob and Trevor.
Yes.
Yes. So, anyways, we had waved over. So when Diane and I had gone to the post-show selfies, as they're coming out, Eric comes out and he's like, "How'd you like your dinner at Chili's?" I was
So
like-
aggressive.
It was like, so it was just funny to be remembered. Like, again,
Yes.
it only happened a couple of hours. It wasn't like multiple things, but it was still pretty fun.
But still, good memory.
So, fun fact that we learned, the reason why they were at Chili's was because they were hungry, and obviously they weren't eating at that bar. And sorry, the ultimate VIPs get to hang out backstage. So, because this was a really low budget bar, there was no backstage for them to hang out in. So they're like, well, why don't we just go out to dinner somewhere? So they tried to get to
Olive Garden.
Olive Garden.
Panera.
Somebody had said Olive Garden, but they said it was long. But they decided, because Olive Garden and Panera are right there, like, oh, let's go to Panera. And then I think Dan said, I think they're closed. And they're like, it's Panera. It's not going to be closed in the middle of the day on a Saturday. And it was due to lack of staff because this was last year and they didn't have a lot of, it was just
COVID
coming back
times
after
and all that,
COVID
yeah.
times. So I guess that's why Eric was annoyed to be at Chili's because he wanted Panera. So
That's like us. We wanted Olive
I wanted
Garden,
Olive
but
Garden.
we wanted Olive Garden. We ended up at Chili's. So
Yeah.
it just
See, it meant to
the
be.
world just happened. So
Yes.
good
Fate.
times. So anyway, so we do the high five thing, and then they
And then Eric hugs us because he says hi, and he's
Aw.
trying to greet everyone in the line. And then Dan is like, "Come on,
come closer, gather
come
around.
Eric and Trevor. We're starting now."
Yes.
because they were taking a while saying hi to all the fans.
Okay, so I'm not gonna show. I'm just gonna share this real quick. Okay.
Keep
So
talking. We're
this
podcast?
so this is it. So that is not a sound card. Okay, so these are videos apparently. Here we go. This is not a video. So there they are. There's like a nice little back. So they just kind of. I don't look at Dan looking at Jacob like,
All
what
of
the
them are
hell
like,
are
Oh
you
my
doing?
god,
In the
that's
world?
funny.
That is really funny.
I
don't-
didn't even
I
realize
have no
that
idea
he was
what this
wearing
is.
flip-flops.
Oh, I
Trevor.
did. I was like,
Oh,
Trevor's
okay.
man after my heart wearing flip flops.
There's the tea you were talking about.
This is So they were trying to do. Oh yeah. So okay. So this is the girl. This is Cherry from north of O-Town. So I was like, she was directly in front of me, and I was like,
Oh, do
I'm
you
gonna-
want to say
I'm-
like
yes,
there was?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
No,
you
like,
want to sing the
there's-
songs part first?
Yeah, because
Okay,
that's
sorry.
part of it. Right?
Okay,
Yeah.
Sophia, you tell about the songs.
Okay, so then they were there. They went on the first wall.
So
You want to go back to share that?
okay,
That means
it doesn't really make a difference.
they can see it.
They're at this wall.
Yes. So that they're singing the songs. It's
Yes.
3 songs. Do you remember which one? Something about
don't.
dream.
Suddenly was one of the songs.
Okay.
That was the other one.
And there was one song that they hadn't sang in so long.
That was Suddenly.
Suddenly. Okay.
Let me check my.
Was it
Sorry,
like
let me
I
just
think
check
it was like a
YouTube for
dream
second.
song, wasn't it?
I wasn't there,
I
so
don't
I cannot
remember.
comment at this time.
Anyways, it was great because it was acoustic. We never hear them like that.
Yeah, they generally
so
don't.
I
do
think
acoustic.
that's amazing. And then Trevor was like, they were all doing the oohs, and then he was like mentioning how with his lips it quivers, and then he was asking them, "Does it? Does that happen to you?" And they're like, "What the fuck are you
no,
talking
they're
about?"
just like, ooh, and it's just
And
like-
then
and they're
Dan's like, "Don't you do your oohs every morning?" For
it was
it was
fun.
fun.
A good
You had to
banter.
be there. It was
So
fun.
they did "Love Should Be a Crime" was the first one.
Yes.
They did "Buried Alive,"
Okay, that's the
and
one.
they also did "Suddenly." So, but it was funny because that one is a little more because I cut it off after each song and there was like a little bit of banter that I didn't get. But then I decided just to record. So the Suddenly one is a little bit longer, but it has a bit of their thing. They're
They had
chatting.
good banter too, and then like they're making fun of each other, and it's
Yes.
nice to see like
It
that
was
kind of thing.
like super cute. And then they
Yeah.
were like, "Does anyone have any questions or whatever?" And then
Oh yeah, and then
and
Eric
then-
was like, give us like a 5-star review on
On
Yelp,
Yelp,
and then
it was
we're
just-
like,
it was
what
just
is
really
this?
fun.
Yeah.
my brain could not think. I have many questions I could ask them
Yes.
now, but while I was there, I was like, I don't know what to ask them. I have,
Will you appear on Boy Band Break
but they have already been on Boy Band
Yeah.
Break.
again?
Yeah, that's true. So anyway, so then Chrissy Tao, I believe it was,
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, I have a surprise for you." Okay, so also we didn't really know who she was before, but when we did the O-Town interview,
Talk
Eric,
to the camera.
Eric had said, "Oh, you're from the Toronto area, you know Chrissy," and we're like, "Chrissy Tao," and I was like, "Oh, okay, maybe I don't know." So anyway, so she was there, and then she's like, "Oh, I have a surprise to show you or give you or something."
Show
and, like,
you.
show you, and the guys were like, "Okay," and then she like whipped off her bag, and then she was
But at first she
pregnant,
was like, "I'll show you after."
I'll show you
and
after.
then it
They're
just
like-
came.
and then she's like, "Duh,"
and then she did it anyways.
And then the guy's like, "Oh my god!" Like the amount of joy that O-Town had that Chrissy was pregnant was like, it was like they're like jumping up and down, like the energy from these guys. These are your hype men.
And then
man.
Eric was like, "Did you do it to a song, an hotel?"
Oh yeah, they're
song?"
like, "Did
And
you
then-
do it to an O-Town song?" And
And then
she's
she's
just like looking
"What
at him
are you asking
awkwardly.
this?" Yeah, it was pretty funny.
It was actually really funny. It was,
Yes, painter.
it was
Yeah.
but anyways, it was just like they were all very excited. So that's what I'm trying to say here is that O-Town are very personable with their
Yes.
fans. Like they know their people.
I feel like they knew a majority of them there
Yes.
because you could see
see
like
that
how
the
happy
recognition
they were.
and stuff, but
they acknowledged them.
but they like acknowledge people they know. Like I just feel like these guys are hustling and they're working hard and they're making the connections with people. And I just think it was really like it was just like a really nice, joyful moment.
And
for
even when we introduced ourselves to Eric, he was like, "Hey, Sofia. Hey, Cinzia."
Yes.
Like,
I was just like Cinzia from Boy Band Break. I'm like, I don't know why. I was just like,
and I'm Sofia from Boy Band Break.
yeah, it was
it's
just
funny.
pretty funny. But yeah, but you do definitely. I feel like Trevor recognized.
Yeah, I feel like
they recognize. But anyways, but
I
obviously-
guess like the Eric and Trevor are like the more sociable, maybe.
yeah. So I would
I don't
probably
know.
say that. So yeah, so they did this. We chatted a little bit, whatever. So anyway, so back to this.
But that was
picture.
fun. Yes.
It was fun.
Sorry,
It was
I thought I
cute.
had to add that.
Their voices are obviously amazing. Go
Yes.
check it out on our YouTube page. But
It
then,
was beautiful.
so yeah, so there's Joel taking the picture. He decided he was going to dress in his Canadian tuxedo.
Yes.
So he had denim on denim, his little like
And
boy
can I,
band
say,
bandana.
can I say it was like very quiet? We're all like enjoying people getting their
yeah, we're
pictures
just
taken.
like letting people have their
you know,
moment.
chill. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we at this point we determined that because we were in a hallway and they were like, "Oh, let's put our purses on the other side." So we take our picture, pick up the person, go back. So we were all doing that. So everybody's just silently doing their thing. They're all posing for their picture, and all of a sudden it's like,
Like,
"Whoops!" It was like almost like a pop sound, and then Trevor says, "Whoops!" and then we're like, "What?" So he farted. He farted and said, "Oops," and it was the
at first he
funniest-
tried to play it off that it was Sherry. but
They're
it
like,
wasn't.
"Cherry, like you did." She's
Sherry.
like, "What are you talking about?" And then he was just like,
And then Jacob
They
was like,
were
yeah, they were dying.
dying.
And Jacob's like, can we have like 5 minutes to like calm down?
Do I
Because
have-
it's like too.
I tried to get some
Oh
pictures.
my
They're like,
God.
look at them. Like
They're
he was on the
dying.
ground. Their faces are all
Oh my
red.
God.
Everyone is like cracking up.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. And then
Anyway,
Sherry's
okay, so,
like,
yeah.
what did you have for lunch?
She's like, oh, what did you have for lunch? And they're like, do we need like air freshener? Like it was like,
Oh my
it did
God.
not smell.
No.
So, but it was just like
funny
it was like a quick toot.
because
type
it was
thing.
like so quiet.
But it was
right?
just
and then
like-
all of a sudden
all of
it's
a
like, whoop.
oh my god, it was so funny, and like they could not compose themselves, and I could not compose
I was
myself because
laughing. Yeah, it was
because I'm
hard.
laughing at them laughing because like Jacob was on the ground, things like Eric,
Yeah.
then they would like compose and then they would double over again and like, you know, like
Because
Yeah.
you know how it
obviously-
is, right? Like
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
like
yeah, it's
thinking about it,
contagious,
and then you're like,
yeah.
okay, we'll stop.
and you're
then
just
you're
like trying not to, and then somebody else makes a noise and then it starts you off
Yeah.
again.
Oh my
So
God.
that I was the next one up, and I was like, oh, God. I'm like, do you need a minute? They're like, Joel's trying to move people. He's like, no, we're good. Let's go. So I give like Eric a hug, and then I get to Trevor, and I was like, okay, buddy, I don't want to squeeze you too hard just in case. And he's like, I'm okay now. And then Dan had heard that. He's like, she doesn't want to squeeze you because you got fart again. And then that set Jacob off again. So we're fucking dying. So
Yes.
my picture, and we're trying to be composed here. And as you can see, I look like I have no eyes because I'm laughing so hard. and trying, and they were super hot and sweaty.
Yes.
And also attractive, but yes,
Yes.
it was just like, but it was so funny, but like, oh my god.
And then after her
Like, so
picture-
look at everyone has red faces. Like, this is like oh my god.
it was great.
So then Sophia went up.
So then after this picture, they were still like laughing. So I was like, "Do you need a minute still? Like, I see that you're like still laughing." And they're like, "No, it's okay. Just come." So then I give hugs to all of them,
I'm
and
just
then
gonna see if I can find
let
your
me take a
pictures.
picture. If you want to go on Instagram,
I feel like if I scroll down to your pictures, or you didn't,
I think it's
you
on
didn't put them.
Instagram.
Okay, share this tab instead.
There we go.
There we go.
There you go. Yeah,
Lovely.
I got a hug
Wow.
from each of them. Usually you don't get hugs.
Oh, I always go.
Well, in BSB, that's why.
yes.
So
No
I was like,
touching. O-Town does not.
Old
care.
Town is
You wanna hug O-Town?
beautiful for
Enjoy.
that, and I think them.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Is there other pictures of you here?
Uh,
Okay, that's just that.
yes.
Oh, I took 4. Okay, so then there's some performance, which they already did. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. So at this point, so Joel's like, can you just like hold off to the side? Because I have not actually paid yet. So like I was before, Joel's like, we'll figure it out afterwards, whatever, I'll get. So we get there. So he's like, okay, cool. He's like, okay, we're gonna Venmo. And I was like, babe, I did not call him babe.
Wow.
Wanted to, but did not. I was like, yeah, we don't have Venmo in Canada. He's like, what? And I was like, yeah, it's only American. Like I pulled it up on Google. I'm like, you have to be American to American. Because we do Interac e-transfer here,
Yeah.
which I find highly superior. It goes straight
Yes.
from your bank. It goes there.
Yes.
Well,
Yep.
deposit. Anyway, so I'm like, we don't do Venmo. And he's like,
At
okay.
first he was like PayPal.
So
but then
he's
he
like,
went to
okay, Jacob, let's
Venmo.
do PayPal. And Jacob's like, I closed down my PayPal account. I'm like,
Ah.
I was like, guys, I am not trying to rip you off. I think because, like, honestly, because if this was BSB, they would not have
No,
let me
no.
get to the backstage.
Not
door.
at all.
No.
It's a very good honor system here. And I'm
Yes.
like, I was like, listen,
They trust a
because
lot
then
of
I
people.
had asked another lady, I'm like, where is there a bank machine in this venue? She's like, oh, it's a cashless venue. They don't have it.
Yeah, in Canada we have a lot of those cashless venues.
So I was like, okay, cool. I was like, bingo. My friend Alan is over at the casino. I'm going to e-transfer him. He will take out the cash at the bank machine and bring it over because we were not allowed to leave the venue because we'd already scanned in. So then Joel's like,
Our
okay.
tickets.
He's like, just text me afterwards and then we'll figure out where you are. I'm like, cool. So he's like, the show's not starting till 8:30. We got time. So we're waiting and we're waiting. And then let's see what Lydia was up to.
What was Lydia doing?
I was having a wonderful buffet.
Right there.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Yummy.
I
It
forgot
was
to
delicious.
share.
I had a great time.
So Sophia and I are starving because we did not eat. But Lydia.
Well, because I was like, what I said was because I got there, I'm like, I have arrived, and you're like, oh, VIP hasn't started yet, and I was like, fuck me, why am I here?
Yeah.
So then I
Because
was
they
like,
changed the times, right? Like before it was gonna be 5:30 to 5:45. And
yeah,
then they changed it to 6:30 to 6:45.
Because we had
Yeah.
to because we were being let into the venue and going to a backstage area. They
yeah,
had to make sure the venue
And
was
then
open.
doors didn't open till 7.
So like people were
Yeah.
actually going in while we were still waiting to go to the VIP.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
anyways,
So I
ooh.
didn't want to go to the buffet, but it was comped, so I had to go to the buffet. But I had a great time at the buffet.
Absolutely.
Yes,
That
it
was
looks
delish.
like you have some roast beef over there.
Yeah, I got some
arancini,
pizza, egg roll, sausage. It was beautiful.
There
So
you
that's
guys.
us.
Their
That's-
little date.
We're on our little date. It's so cute.
So cute.
Yeah. So, but anyways, but yeah, and then we hung out in the room, and like, I don't know. It was just, I feel like it wasn't super clear on what time we had to be there because I'm like, what time does the concert start? He's like 8:30. I'm like, what time is it now? Oh, it's 8:30. I'm like, shouldn't we have been going at some point in time? He's like, oh, I had to go for a smoke. I had to go to the ATM, and so I'm eating dessert like an asshole. And I'm like, okay, like,
And I was like, surely. So Sophia and I are standing at the top of the escalator waiting for them to come.
I'm like, the show has already
I was just
started?
like, I'm like, oh, there's Ryan Cabrera singing. So we're like waiting, but we couldn't tell when they were coming. So they eventually came like,
Well, we
right
at least
as-
heard it above
we
on the
heard
PA.
it.
So
Finally got there,
you know.
saw the last 10 seconds of Ryan Cabrera where he finished the song and was like, okay, good night, everyone. And I was like,
no.
so
It's
I
a
did
good
not
thing
even
we
see it.
saw the show already.
True. And I could hear, so at least I was singing along in the hallway, but it was
Yes.
like, oh, we also ran into some Lydia's elementary school friends. The Murchys, Diana and Maria Murchie were there.
That's so cool.
So we're like, cool. We're like, oh, we'll hang out with Lydia later. But then, because you weren't there yet, so
Oh, we also got snacks.
We got snacks.
Starving.
We got popcorn and pretzel because that's pretty much all I had.
And
lots of
water
booze.
and
Coke. Yes. The water was $7.
Oh
Smart
my
water.
god.
It was well worth it to drink some water because I was thirsty and starving.
Yes. So they come in, so they finally give the money. So now I'm like messaging Joel, and I was like, "Hey, I have the cash. Where should I meet you?" Nothing. So I was like, "Okay, well, whatever." And I'm thinking, oh, because it's usually it's Ryan Cabrera first, and then
Another
act, whatever, and then LFO is the headliner.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, I'm sure it'll be fine. So we're like third row. Ironically, Laura and Sam were directly in front of us.
Yeah.
And
What are the
Maria and
chances?
Diana Murchie were right beside them.
Wow.
So I don't think she actually saw that I was behind them, but it was pretty funny. So
Small
it's like,
world,
so they're
eh?
row 2, and then we're row 3. So they come out, Chris comes out, blah, 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 and then they introduce O-Town. We're like,
And they're like, oh shit.
I'm like, what? I'm like, why is O-Town on already?
Yeah.
And this is like, and it started exactly at 8:30.
Yeah.
There was no like, when they're like, oh, the door's open. So I guess the door's opened at 7. It started at 8:30. So we're like, okay, cool. So we're like, all right. So somebody had asked me to go live. I did try to go live. I could not get any.
That venue was like a cement fort. Like no,
It's like a big
nothing
square.
could come through. Like no signals could come.
I
Yeah, no
tried to go live a
Wi-Fi.
few times, didn't work, whatever.
I texted you. That's the only way I with the bell connection.
Yes.
That's the only way I could get through. But even then, like, it was just like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you a text message. Hello.
So then I was like wavering between recording and also just enjoying the concert because I really like the songs. Like We Fit Together, one of my favorites, Playing with Fire. That was good. It's pretty much the same set. I did record their medley, but it was shorter than it normally
It
is.
was
Yeah,
shorter.
they didn't play some songs that we like off.
Lydia off and then
Hello World didn't play.
Hello
Yeah.
World.
They didn't play.
Which I get, I
Mm.
guess, because they're not the headliners. So
Yeah.
That's why.
So then
Well, that was confusing because I thought they were.
because I thought they were, but then
Yeah, I
but
also
what's
thought
funny
that.
is when I was looking at the poster, I was like, hold up, Smash Mouth is first here. I'm wondering because it's like on a weird angle, but I'm like, I wonder because I feel like O-Town is usually in that spot. So I was like, I don't know. So
Yeah, it was weird that they did that.
So, anyways, this was the first time that Smash Mouth was there. So then, so O-Town does their thing. Then Brad from LFO comes out, does his the Veronica song, every other time. Summer Girls does a good thing. So then they're like, oh, blah blah, and then Chris comes out to sing Bye Bye Bye. So Bye 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 is almost done. Like this, Lance does this too. They just come in for like the
A
last
second,
10
like,
seconds of the
"Bye."
song.
To be fair to him, he hasn't he's not that great of shape. Not in a bad way. Not he even said
I
it.
know he did say
He
that.
even said it.
But
I'm
at
not
least
saying in
his-
a bad,
when
I'm
we
not
saw
saying in a
him-
bad way. I'm
When we
just
saw him at
saying.
90s Con, he had like an arm brace because he just had surgery.
Oh right,
He
the-
did not
the
have that.
rotator
So
cuff.
yeah, the rotator cuff.
Right?
So
Yes.
he was so
When
he,
you're on tour, you're constantly doing
Yeah,
this,
that's
right?
That's true. You're right.
He's not.
so yeah. So
full
anyway, so
tour.
he did
I'm
that,
not saying in a bad way.
No,
and
no,
then
no.
they went to another NSYNC song, which was
Gonna
Gonna Be Me.
Okay.
Gonna Be
Oh,
Me.
yeah, it's Gonna
So
Be
they
Me.
did that, and then normally that's all they do. They do
Oh
like
my God,
one
they
and a
did
half
that
song.
one.
Then they did "Tearing Up My Heart."
Yeah, that was
It's
amazing.
time.
So yeah, so that was good.
like, whoa.
And I was like, I'm good. This is great. I'm
She
fine.
wasn't good.
Oh, sorry. When Chris came out on stage at the beginning, when he was about to introduce O-Town, he was like walking out. And I was like pointing directly at him, and then he was pointing directly back at me.
Ooh.
And
Yes.
I was like, okay.
He
Chris-
saw you, and then he saw me as well.
Yes. So he was like
So I was
pointing.
happy
And I
for
was
her,
like, I'm
yes.
pretty sure he's looking at me. But I'm like, all right.
And then he
Because
looked
why
at
else would
me.
he point if I'm
Yes.
also pointing, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
you know,
a
And
good
so
point,
usually,
yeah.
like when Cinzia is there, I'm also there. So
go.
he looked
That's
as
true.
well.
There you
So
go.
yeah, so we were there. So anyway, so they did their thing. And then they finished up.
And
And
we
it-
got some
so
good
at this
eye
point-
contact with Trevor as
Trevor,
well, I
yeah.
think. Yeah.
Because they had like a lot of lights that kind of lit up the area.
Yeah,
I chickened out during These Are the Days.
I know.
Yeah, 'cause they were like, take the things.
days.
But the other concerts I have been to at that venue, people rush the stage.
Mm.
These ones, everyone was standing at their seats. So I'm
Yeah.
like, and I had nobody beside me at that point. So I was kind of going back and forth. So I had gone out, but then like Eric was too far this way. And the security were sitting there, but I wasn't sure. They didn't want to
Maybe
get yelled
because
at.
that was the reason, because the security was
I don't
right
know.
in front.
So I went close, but then they were already using other people's phones. So then I just felt like an idiot. So apologies for the.
But Eric
filming
was
of that.
like, "Yeah, come on up."
He was
bring
like
your
getting everybody
phone."
from-
Yeah,
So if we would have got the fourth row on the other side, then we would have
for
we
sure.
would have had.
Yeah.
But
all
Anyway,
good.
so it's fine. But this was more center, so it was better. So then I went back. So literally, right when Chris came out, these two people joined our row.
No.
So then Chris actually came out to that side. So I had kind of tried to go over there, but then she's like, "Oh, you can go." But at that point, then he was leaving, and I was like, "There's no point." I was like, "Son of a bitch, no Chris." Because then at that point, that's
At
when I
that
starting
point,
to feel
there was no
like
Chris.
I was like, "Oh, why didn't I get a Chris meet and greet?" But I was like, "Hey, whatever." Anyway, so they do their show. O-Town's done. So at that point, I was like, "Well, I guess I know where Joel is because he's at the stage doing all the stuff during the show."
Fair enough.
So then it like ends, and now Smash Mouth is going to come out, but they have to like move.
I'm like, is the show
Move the
over?
stage.
Like they're not like
So
we'll do like a 5-minute intermission. Like they didn't
they're
like
just silence,
just
dead silence.
and darkness.
Yeah, they're just
and darkness,
changing
and
up
now they're
the
like
set.
moving shit on the stage, and
Yeah.
everyone's just like awkwardly sitting there. We're like, okay, and we're like, do we even want to see Smash Mouth? I don't know. But here's a fun fact: it is not the full original Smash Mouth.
Okay, so wait. So they come out.
Yes.
Ooh, Smash
they?
Mouth
Oh,
comes
yeah.
out. And everyone, some people are standing and some people are sitting. And for me, I have bought a ticket. I would like to enjoy the concert. Yes, maybe I don't know all the songs, but I know like maybe 2 or 3.
Yes.
You can fake it till you make it kind of thing. Just dance your little heart out. So that is
Sofia
what I
did.
did.
I stood for most of the songs, especially ones I know. The two people behind me were like huge Smash Mouth
Yeah,
fans.
they were like
living their
crazy,
best
yeah.
life. But yeah, most of the people were sitting down. Like for O-Town, pretty much everybody was sitting.
Yeah.
From my perspective, everybody was standing up. I don't know about from where you were sitting.
I in my section, I was probably one of the only people standing.
That's
Just
why I
because-
was able to see you.
Yeah, so like keep it in perspective, guys. This is a casino show. Casinos are usually populated by old people who have no
Like high rollers,
nothing to
whatever,
do.
right?
So-
Right? So they're just sitting and enjoying the show, and they're like, they don't know who the hell's on stage. They don't care who the hell's on
Sometimes
stage.
they leave after like, oh, this is boring. But that's a good point. So the reason why all those tickets went from like 400 to like 33 in the matter of like 3 days. I was talking to Alan, and he said the week before a show, if there's still a lot of tickets left, they just start calling all the high rollers and being like, hey, do you want to have free tickets? Blah blah blah. So that's why there's so many. But yeah, but like
I
it was
also
like
feel
maybe
bad
20
to
people
just
saying.
sit
So
down.
So one
right?
at a time.
Yeah.
One at a time. Sorry, Sophia
Sorry.
first.
I feel bad to sit at a concert.
It's very.
I
Comes off as
understand.
rude. It to me.
To like sit, but also like a concert will have fun.
It's
So
not a
stand.
concerto.
Yeah.
No,
Concerto.
it's
you
not
sit
an
down.
opera. It's
Yeah.
not like-
Like you know what I mean. This is like
Yeah.
hot men dancing on stage.
Yeah. So I had gone to an Aaron Lyne, he's a country singer, Aaron Lyne's concert, and I was front row, and no one was standing up. So then I was chair dancing. And then at one point he's like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just trying to dance here with all these boring old people
Oh
that
my
are sitting down.
god.
Anyways,
Because I even turned to Cinzia and was like, "Are we gonna stand? Because I cannot sit
Yeah.
for this." Like,
so
I'm
like
sorry, I need to
Laura and Sophia were dancing up a storm. And then me and Sam were like, I don't know. And then I did stand up for most
Yeah,
of it.
Sam wasn't.
But
there.
he was like
funny.
working. He's like, yeah. And he's like trying to get
Yeah,
people-
like he
So I
gave us
just
eye
felt
contact.
bad
He
that
pointed
the
to
the
us.
Smash Mouth
the
guy?
Smash Mouth guy.
Oh.
Yeah, he pointed to us. He was like,
So at
giving
this
lots of
point,
attention.
it kind of begs the question: if the lead singer of a band is replaced, like, is it now a cover band, or how many original members need to be there for it to still be considered a band? So apparently, only the bass player is the only one still
Yes.
a band member.
Yes. Yeah.
So
And Joel was saying, because there's still one guy and they have the rights to the songs. Technically,
it's still Smash Mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because I mean, there's that whole like proverb, right, where like there's the ship, but the ship keeps getting repaired, right, and then at one point,
It's a new ship.
is it a new ship or is it the old ship, right? I don't
Right.
know.
Mm, that's a good
it's
point.
paradox,
Who
right?
knows? So I had messaged some other friends about this. So I'm like, did you know that this lead singer? First of all, sorry, have you
I
guys-
did. I knew this.
Has anyone ever seen the show Perfect Match? It was like one of
No.
those like Netflix reality shows.
No.
There was a guy on there named Joey,
Okay.
who was with some Chriselle or something, and it was like reality stars that were trying to hook up and make a perfect match. Anyways, this guy
Chriselle?
looked exactly like him. So I was very confused for a moment because I thought it was him, but
I
apparently
thought
it's
it,
not.
and to be honest with you, I was like, oh man, Father Time did something to this guy, but it turns out it was a different guy.
Yeah, so I knew this because
I
I
know that.
remember reading something about that.
Well, I have a thing that someone sent me about it. So it says, did Smash Mouth replace the lead singer? It says Smash Mouth have introduced their new new singer following the dramatic exit of founding frontman Steve Harwell last year. His name is Zach Good, with me, a Los Angeles-based musician and voice actor whose biggest claim to fame until now was a member of a Weezer tribute band called Geezer. So I bring up the voice actor thing because Lydia's like, no, it's him, because I heard the sounds.
He had the sound spot on.
He had some of the throat sounds and stuff like that. And then she also sent me this thing that says, this is Jackie sent it to me. Harwell announced he was leaving the band after attempting to power through his physical and mental health issues. One of the band's final performances went viral on TikTok after footage was shown of Harwell seemingly slurring his words, threatening the crowd, and giving rude gestures on stage.
Like someone we know.
Yes.
Yikes.
Anyways,
Oh, goodness.
you know what? He did a good job.
Props
to
him.
It was just, I just feel like for this particular crowd, I feel like O-Town should have been the headliner because I feel more people were there for O-Town.
Yes.
And
But
he should have dyed his hair blonde.
okay,
Sorry.
he's not.
I know
Then
he's
then
not.
it's a cover band because now he's looking like a cartoon.
Yeah, you gotta
character
be
of the other
yourself.
guy.
What about
right?
a frosted
You
tip?
gotta
Give
be
me
yourself.
something, man.
Yes.
Come on.
So I guess Smash Mouth was there because Chris said that Smash Mouth opened for NSYNC back in the day.
Is it true
But
though?
then I'm
I feel like
like-
they
Because I
kind
tried
of-
to make the connection of why
Maybe
Smash
it was
Mouth
kind
would
of
be there.
they were looking. So I was talking to somebody later, and she said that the reason is they normally have Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray
Yes.
doing this, but Sugar Ray is actually getting back together this year.
Oh, I didn't know.
And
that.
they actually they're doing a show at the OLG stage as well.
Oh.
So
Oh yeah, we
that's
saw
why
signs,
he was not
yes.
available. So I was like, that makes sense, totally. And
Okay.
then they've had 98 Degrees there before as well. So yeah. So anyways, it's a good show, whatever. So anyways, we went and got picks
Yes.
from, I guess this was the guitarist, or I guess this was probably the
Was it the bass?
bass. It must have been the bass player.
Yeah.
Do I have that picture anywhere? Yes,
Right
here we
there.
go.
Okay. Now you press
Because
share.
he's so nice. He was giving out guitar picks. To
So we were
everyone.
leaving, and this lady who worked at the venue, go see what he's giving out. He's giving out free things. And
Can
we're
I
like,
just say the security people there were very nice? Because
Yeah, they
usually they're
were.
kicking you out of the venue, but they're like,
Yes.
go get it, go
I
get
think
it.
because they're casino people. too,
Yeah.
So that's probably why.
Okay.
yeah. So
But I was
yeah.
like, wow, I never
super
experienced
lovely.
this.
Oh, I don't. Where did I put the guitar? Oh, it's in my jacket. I don't have
Oh,
it. But it was like a
yeah.
cute little Smash Mouth guitar pick.
Aw.
It had like a
Yeah.
QR code and stuff.
Cute.
These are the girls.
I don't
So
know where
there's
it's happening.
Sam and Laura. Sophia's like, they really wanted us to take after show selfies. And
Yeah,
we're
we were
like,
like,
we're
okay.
like, not happening. This is the Smash Mouth guy. If anybody is curious.
He looks
That-
like familiar.
That's a
because
bad
that's on-
picture. Obviously, he's saying something right there, but yeah. So,
And we got with Brad.
anyway, so we
Joel
fin-
got one with
so then we
Joel.
finally. So Joel's like, "Are you watching the show?" And I was like, "Kind of, but we can leave." And then he just stopped answering. And then
He's
he's like, "Okay,
enjoying the
meet me
show.
at the whatever where O-Town was doing their VIP after the show." So finally gave him the money because I had said to Jacob, "I'm like, yo, I'm not trying to scam you." He's like, "No, I don't think you are." I'm like, "I'm just saying." Like,
Uh-huh.
so we gave him the
Because
money.
he kept
we're
saying
all
like,
good.
"Oh, we'll give you $4 back." I'm like, honestly,
He's like, I
it's
don't have
just
change. And we're like,
$4.
Dude,
It's
it's
okay.
$4.
It's not a problem.
He's like, I don't even know what that currency is. I'm like, it's Toonies. I'm like, I'm not even gonna get into this. So we're like, okay, your tip is we're taking pictures. I'm like, here, you got an $8 tip. And he's like, money's all going to O-Town. Whatever.
You're like a
Take a
Jason,
picture, Joel.
whatever.
Yeah. So that was fun.
And then we went to
So then we went downstairs and we decided, you know what? Let's get Brad from LFO. His meet and greet was, it was a lanyard. Yes. Okay. So you can't really. Oh, I guess I can. Anyways, it's a lanyard, and then I was like, "Hey, Brad, like when I bought that thing, you were supposed to send me."
I think you took a photo.
I didn't.
Oh,
no.
okay.
I was like, "Hey, Brad, I was supposed to get an autograph. I never did. So can you sign this?" He's like, "Sure." So we wrote, Cinzia, God bless. And then, because Lydia
loves him,
loves Brad, we decided we got her a little video of him.
Thank you.
Yes.
Wow.
If you've heard the podcast,
You'll
know why.
But yes.
Okay. Thank
Anyway,
you
so we did
so
that.
much.
So that was
Wow,
nice.
wow.
So then we left at that point, and like the girls had tried to like pay for.
Oh yeah, you
skipping
did
ahead.
take a photo
What?
of the pass.
pass?
Oh look, right there.
Where?
Right there.
This?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
there it
that's
is. It's
cute.
backwards.
Yeah.
Oh, it's backwards.
Aw.
Okay.
So it says Honor Rich, Honor Devin, LFO on the one side, and the other side is just a bunch of pictures of LFO.
That's sweet.
So there you go.
Cute.
Very cute. It's actually a cute little pass. Very cost-effective meet and greet because we said to the lady, like, do we each have to buy one? She's like, yeah. She's like, nah. Yeah, just buy one.
Yeah,
okay.
okay.
I was like, perfect. Thanks, Brad. So we did that. So anyways, so at this point, the concert was over. So Lydia and Alan had left like immediately.
Well, because here's the thing, like Alan doesn't know, right? He's not in the know when it comes to concert stuff. What the thing, the etiquette is, right? So yeah, he was just like, because he had to like
he had
was
to go smoke.
Yes,
That's
okay,
his
he had to
thing.
go smoke because
Because
he's
it's
like,
a smokeless
said,
venue.
I only
2
have
hours or whatever.
he only
right?
had the gum, right?
Yes. He
So
does not.
and he doesn't like the gum.
He gets very agitated if he's not going to smoke.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, we were
because
like,
we were trying to find
like
Lydia.
a bat out of hell. Like
Yes.
I was
oh
like,
my God,
oh,
they got
okay,
they're already at the
okay.
hotel. How?
Yeah,
we were
like,
like trying to find the bathroom, and because we were talking to some of the other girls that we had met, and there's so many lovely ladies.
Yeah,
It was
they're
great.
very
So,
nice.
So many fun people. So they're like, "Are you guys doing it?" We're like, "Maybe," and we're like, "I just didn't want to." So
It's a
You
lot.
already did the first
we already
one.
did the
Yeah,
first one.
we
I'm like,
already
we're
did that,
wearing
yeah.
the same clothes, like
Yeah.
nothing else is different. So, so to put it in perspective, for an American show, normally the selfie is about $60. You get a T-shirt, and you get the selfie. For the Canadian show, it was $135.
Because of conversion.
And that is not because of conversion, because that's over 200%. So that's not
Okay.
it is 100%. I don't know. Anyways, it's
It's
what
the
it is.
Canada tax. We
Something.
can
It was
pay more
something.
because
I was just like, you know what? Not
we
doing
pay
it.
more for books.
Oh, you know what? I actually wanted to point out a couple of the other things that they had
Okay.
The
as
merch, you
merch.
mean?
Yeah. So hold on. Because we've done it before. Okay, so here. So there you go. So there's the selfie and a free T-shirt.
That's how they got around the merchandise.
And they gave you like a wristband, but it was per person. So we
Okay.
could not buy one and
Yes.
split it. Even if we were going to be in the picture together.
Because it would have been
no.
okay to do
'Cause I'm like,
that.
if we're splitting it, that's fine. But they're like, no, it's one per person. So we're like, okay,
nice.
fine. So there we go. This gentleman, I don't think I actually took a picture of him. Hilarious, super lovely
Yeah,
fellow.
he was fun.
This is the O-Town shirt.
It looks a little bit different than usual.
Yeah, it's just purple, has like an old school logo there. Ryan Cabrera had handwritten lyric sheets for $150.
I was wondering what that was. I'm just like, is this like a treasure map? What is this?
O-Town also had air fresheners
They do?
for $50. So I almost bought it. One is lavender.
Aw.
I don't think that's how you spell lavender.
No.
And then coconut, apparently.
Oh,
And
no,
then
it is, it
and
is.
then I was just like, oh. And then I remembered I have a sublimation printer and things. So I'm like, I should make some.
Yes.
Like obviously this is money for them, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying like we should make fun air fresheners because I forgot I have not taken it out of the box yet. I have not set it up, so yeah, so this is.
I'm like, what am I looking at here?
It does look like old timey like treasure
What
map.
is this?
So so it's on the way down, handwritten lyrics. So he said there's only one of this, and then I think the other one he said. Yeah, so he had like 5 of the other ones, I guess. And I guess there was 5, and then he was gonna come and record a video with you or something. Like he after his set, he was doing this. I don't know if anybody actually bought them. Maybe
I
they
don't
did.
know.
I didn't remember seeing them at the end of the night, so
I
maybe they
don't.
did. But I was like, oh, I want to go see Ryan Cabrera, but then O-Town came out immediately. So I was like, I'm
All
sorry,
right.
Ryan. I'm going to be here for
Yeah,
O-Town.
yeah, fair enough.
So sucky, but like he's a super nice guy. Oh, there's all of us. Yay.
Oh,
This was
together.
our before.
before.
Yes,
Yes.
before, yes.
So yeah. So anyway, so there was that. So then we ended up at this point going back to the hotel and getting some food and stuff.
Because we didn't eat.
We did not
Cinzia and I
eat.
did not eat,
Then we were thinking the deli, but I couldn't open the menu and nobody else was opening the menu. And then we ended up just going getting bar burrito and Burger King, and Tim Hortons. Went up thing. So now at this point, Lydia and Sofia are getting ready to leave because it's like well past Lydia's
It's like
bedtime.
12:30
12:30
at that
in the
point.
morning,
I
something like
think
that.
we were at 1:00 on the highway at
Yeah,
that
I think
point.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw construction at
Yeah.
that point, and we're like,
So
okay,
random.
what is this? US?
Yeah, right? Like, get out of here. Yeah.
Well, they do it at night because people. Oh, there's pictures of Lydia. Okay, so
Yeah, so there's videos of me singing here too if you want to.
Yeah.
Take a look.
Okay, so then as we're leaving, there's a rest. So there's like this. It used to be a water fountain. Now it's like a display of a teacup or something with flowers.
I think I think it's bullshit, by the way, because so many malls, so mmany places used to have water features, and now they don't have water features, and they're like, oh, what's the deal? Why is everyone? It's like there's nowhere to hang out anymore. Like it's just I feel like capitalism is killing everything. Yes, water
I
features
guess
cost
COVID
money.
didn't help.
It's just, yeah,
They
but
had.
still.
I did notice there was a little water at the bottom, but it doesn't really do anything. So
Yeah, people were
they
doing
would just change
wishes,
the
like, they put
display
the
and
money
stuff.
in
So,
there.
anyways, this is
I
like a
think
focal
it's
point of this casino. They have this
tomfoolery.
thing.
It used to be, yeah, that
It
was
used to be a thing, and then it would fill up, and every like
was
half
like
an
a
hour it
show.
would be like a,
It was wonderful.
and the water would come down.
They don't do that shit no more. Water's too expensive. Anyways,
But don't you just reuse the water?
yeah, it's the pumps. It's the pumps that are the wear
Oh.
components, and they're like, oh, I don't want to spend money. Fuck you, society. And then they
Okay.
just close it up and they cover it in garland and
They
bullshit.
pave paradise, put up a parking lot.
Thank you. Yes,
Yes,
exactly.
that's true.
All right.
Anyway, so there used to be a diner there, like a 24-hour like breakfast place. Now it's like Jameson Whiskey restaurant. And you can, and it has like things, but you can see there's like holes.
Yeah, there's windows.
It's kind of like a window. I don't know, but you can kind of see through it. So, anyways, we just happened to be walking by to get to the parking lot, and I glanced through, and I was like, "That guy looks familiar." And then I was just like,
Okay, people in dark clothes wearing dark baseball caps. Come on, we know who you are.
So
who
I was
you
like,
fooling?
I was like, "Oh, that is so
Brad.
Jacob,
It was Brad that we saw first.
Brad."
And
So-
then when we were looking in the window, we're like,
Oh,
oh, that's
windows.
Jacob.
So Jacob, Joel, Brad were there, and then the lead singer, I guess his name is Zach from Smash Mouth, were sitting at another table, so they were just kind of like chit
and then
chatting.
Joel came out.
Yeah, so they were there, and then I'm like, Lydia, there they are, and then she's like, shouldn't I?
This
And then
discount VIP, guys.
we're like,
just,
free.
You know,
She's like, I don't want to bother them
harass
because
them
they're
in
eating.
public.
I was like, listen, first of all, there's not a lot of people here, so no one's going to know that you're doing this. Secondly, they're not actually eating yet. They haven't
There's a
ordered.
50-50 chance, right?
And then we're like, there's a 50-50. From our experience, they're very nice guys and
Yes.
are willing to take pictures and stuff. If you, but they
They
just
are
had
at
a
a
show. They
restaurant.
just finished a VIP. We're not sure if they're so. We didn't want to all like overwhelm, like, hey everyone. So
Yeah.
we sent Lydia in.
You sent me to the fucking
Because
slaughter,
we were
guys.
like-
Thanks a lot.
Because we were just like, we
Yeah.
don't want to ruin this experience if they're mean to us. Which was
Right.
kind of Lydia's
but also,
thing.
like they might have not have given everyone.
Then we're just like, you just
So
gotta
it's better
shoot
to
your shot.
Yeah. So it's better that you
So
went
Lydia like
alone.
marched to the front door,
we were
turned
so
around,
proud
came
of
back,
her.
and then I was like, go. And she
We
was
were
like, okay.
so proud of
And then
her.
we're like looking at her. I took some like creeper shots of yeah, I don't know where it is. I'm not gonna show that. But
Okay.
you can't really see, it's blurry. But anyways, I was
just
like,
know that
I was
it
just like,
great.
okay, is this a positive? Sophia runs away to the fountain.
I don't know why. I'm
Because
very
she's just
dramatic.
like,
I'm
oh
very
my
dramatic.
god, I can't. But Lydia got some success. So tell us about what happened there.
I went in and I said they were all chatting, and I was like, "Sorry to bother you. Can I take a picture?" And they said, "Sure." So I said it to all three of them, and then Brad was like, "What's your name?" And I was like, "My name is Lydia." And he's like, "Lydia, thank you so much for your kind words." So I was like, "Ah!"
Oh,
So
Brad. So
I
there's
was like,
Brad.
"This is." And you all know how I feel about Brad
Yes.
on this
Yes.
channel. So I'm just like, oh, he's nice in person.
He's a very nice
He's
man.
nice
He's
guy.
a very
And when
nice person.
when we had gone, I asked him if I could give him a hug. He's like, sure. He's a
Like,
very
he's
soft-spoken
very
person.
soft, quiet man for someone who's an entertainer. It's like an introverted guy, I think.
And I had said to him, I'm
Mhm.
like, hey, I was at the memorial in LA for Aaron. Like, your words were so beautiful. And I'm like, I don't think there was a dry eye in the place. And then when you said like you had that jacket, like goosebumps, he's like, I know, like I talked about that in a previous episode. But essentially, long story long, they had asked Brad to come play at Aaron's memorial, but he couldn't really afford it and things like that. And he wasn't sure if it was right. And then he was cleaning up a room to paint. And he's like, I just need some sort of sign. And he's like, Aaron had given him a jacket years ago for some reason when they were on a concert. And then he just like, okay, whatever, bro. And he thought he got rid of the jacket. But then that night when he went to go close the door, the jacket was hanging on the backside of the door. So he felt like that was like his sign that he should go to the memorial. So, and he talked a lot about depression and things because obviously he has lost all of his band members
Yeah.
to various illnesses.
That would take a lot out.
That
of
takes
you.
a lot. So
Yeah,
so he's a very like sad man, but he's like trying to be positive and stuff. So. And then of course Jacob.
I saw Jacob.
Yay!
Hooray!
So good job.
So we're so proud of you, Lydia.
It was like
great.
a 30-second interaction. I popped in, took pictures, and popped out.
Usually that's
honestly though, I feel like that's what you need if you don't want to bother them, or just do it really quick, like sorry to bother you, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And sometimes they might say no. This is their own personal
it's
time.
their autonomy, right?
You know what?
But I also feel like because you went alone, I think it was better in that sense.
Sure. We'll say that.
You
guys left me behind.
I was watching you. I was ready to run interference if there was like they were like,
"Fuck
you,
Lydia." Yeah.
So they're good.
It's okay. No, you were right. It was better to do one person. You were right.
Yes.
You were all right. It just I felt like
I was just like, and then Lydia came out and she was like strutting, and then she was like
and
high-fiving.
then we were like cheering her on because she did it. We're so proud.
That was great.
That was great. So
I
then
have a feeling they saw that.
You know what? Whatever.
Who
cares?
Okay.
I'm sure they've seen worse.
At least you weren't screaming or anything.
That's true.
So then they left. They dropped Alan and I because we had to get out of the parking garage back at the front door. So at this point,
when she means they, it's Lydia.
Yes, we were in the car.
Okay, so I was driving my Honda CR-V, which y'all were making fun of me for making turns because the power steering's broken.
We were not making fun of you. I was just asking.
Lydia was grunting aggressively.
I was just asking. I was just asking, are you okay? Is this what normally happens? Because I never seen you like this.
Yes.
That's the only reason why.
It's a very old car. It is 23 years old. It can drink legally in America. Everything is wrong. The
driver's
side handle's gone. The window's gone. The door's gone. The legal requirements of stone chips is getting close. But yeah, it got me there and back. So God bless that job.
It got to the DeFranco house in a one piece as well. So thank you, Lydia, and thank you, Cinzia, for letting me sit over there.
No problem. So, anyways, we went back in after Alan had no smoke. And then as soon as I walk in, I look and there's more people at that table. And then I see Eric.
Oh.
And I was just like, oh, I'm like, I don't want to go inside again because it's weird, whatever. And I said, oh, because Eric is Alan's favorite. So Eric came out, but he was on his phone and quickly walked away.
And I found that's his go-to because at Chili's he also had the phone and walked away.
Somebody else was saying I was talking to somebody else, and they say that's Eric's thing. And he's always, I don't know if he's talking to his girlfriend or whatever, but he's always on the phone. And he wanders away. So they're like, that's just they're like, oh, Eric. So I ran into these three girls, Suzanne.
I wasn't there, Suzanne. So I don't know.
Stephanie, Bridget and Sean. I'm sorry, something with Sean. No, it was a nice name. They all had really nice names, but super lovely people. So they had went to go. So Trevor had come at this point. So they had gone to go talk to Trevor, and Alan was like, I'm gonna go gamble. So he went inside. So then I just very awkwardly and obviously kind of inched myself towards this conversation. And it was but he was talking to them and they were making jokes about I can't even remember exactly what he said, but something along the lines of, Stephanie is the girl. So they're like, I took a shower, and there's I love a man who showers. And it was just a really funny thing. And he was like, oh yeah, being all Trevor.
Okay.
Flirty and stuff.
So sorry. By the way, Trevor did not take off his shirt for this concert. I was very disappointed. But okay.
She called me after O-Town set me I want a refund. Trevor did not get naked. Blah 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 blah.
Free ticket.
He doesn't do it all the time, I guess.
But
at least we were there when he did.
I guess it was because air conditioned venue, and he didn't want to take off his hat. I understand. He's the hat guy of the group. He's Mr. Hat. But it's oh my god.
Yeah, I guess.
Abs, please.
Please continue. Buddy, I'm sorry.
I know.
So anyway, so he was just being all his charming self. So he went in. So then I just start chatting with these girls and talking about and they were waiting because one of them wanted to meet Dan. Which spoiler alert, he did not show up at all. So,
shocking.
And I was there. So I had gone in with Alan for a bit, and then I came out and I was just and I was really sorry. Before this. Sorry, I saw Eric go in. We had gone into casino. I found some water.
Is this still that restaurant?
It is that restaurant.
Oh, okay.
So we had come in. We saw Eric, whatever, and then Alan's like, I don't want to bother Eric. I don't want a picture. I was like, why? He's like, I don't take pictures of celebrities. I'm like, okay, weirdo. So we had gone in. So then he showed me where there was actually free water in the casino, which I did not know. Okay. And then I wandered around, and I was like, I'm tired. I'm going to go. So that's when I came out, saw Trevor, saw these girls. And I was like, maybe I'll just wait in the lobby a little longer.
Yeah.
Because, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was like still bummed that I hadn't seen Chris. And I was like trying to see if he had made it to their little like dinner thing. And I didn't see him. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I was just like chatting with these girls and they had chased somebody for a picture. Maybe Trevor. I can't remember. But we were just like, so we're chatting for a little bit and we're talking about stuff. And then I see a familiar, again, because my brain does not work quickly, I see a familiar looking man walking with a woman.
To be fair, you're tired.
I was also very tired. It was like 1:30 in the morning, something like that, maybe 2. And as I see them like walking, and I was just like, I'm like, hey, there's Chris. Go get a picture with him. And the girl was like, Stephanie was like, ah. So she like runs out of the thing. She's like, ah. I'm like, just go. The worst he can say is no, because at this point, I was tired and I didn't think I would be able to catch up to Chris in time. So I figured I'd stall him by getting her to get him first.
Smart.
So it was great.
Good
so she
strategy.
went there.
Good strategy.
So they were like, so I get there and Carrie's there. So Carrie is his manager, seller. So I was like talking to her for a little bit. No, I was just like, hey, way to not be on my podcast again. And he's like, that's not my fault. Carrie's like, sorry, it's my fault. I'm like, she's like, so we're like, we'll figure it out. She's like, and then I let like Chris talk to the girls. So I was just chatting with Carrie and she was like, she had 4:00 in the morning. She left for the airport.
Wow.
And so she was coming from one place. Chris was coming from Nashville. Then they were going somewhere else. And so we were just like chatting for a bit about stuff. And I was talking about the Smash Mouth thing. And they said this was like the first show and they have a few more with Smash Mouth. And then she's the one who told me the Mark McGrath thing and all that stuff. So we were just like chatting. And then I was like, the guys are in the thing if you want to go see them. She's like, oh, so like you could tell they wanted to leave. But then he's like, okay. So they went to go say goodbye to the O-Town guys and Smash Mouth guys. I was like, okay, cool. Then he came out again and was going, oh, sorry. My God, I'm sorry. When he after he talked to the girls, he came over to me and like gave me like this big ass bear hug. And I was like, okay, good. I have recognition. And then he said, I saw you at the concert. Did you see me pointing to you? I was like, did you see me pointing to you? And he's like, yeah. So then we're like, so he was just like, oh, whatever. And then they went to go see the other people. And the girls were like, how does Chris know you? I'm like, I've met him a few times. It's just
number
very
one
nice.
fan in Canada. Come on.
There you go. So anyway, so whatever. So then as they were leaving, the girls were still kind of there. And then I was like chatting a little bit with them. I was chatting with them about the Pop 2000 Mexico trip.
Right.
And I go like, so what's going on? And then Carrie's like, well, we don't really like, she was saying how they like the itinerary just came out, but they're still working things out. But she's like, it's going to be really fun. It's selling well. I'm like, how pissed are you that Backstreet announced? And then Chris is like, Backstreet's doing a Mexico trip. I'm like, Carrie's like, it's not till next year. And I'm like, well, they announced it, but there's no information yet. So I'm like, I was about to book yours, but now I don't know. And then I'm like, obviously yours is gonna be more fun. I'm like, I have no money for either of the trips, but I was just like, they're like, it'll be a fun trip. I'm like, obviously it's gonna be fun. You guys are fun. Yeah. So then at this point, Stephanie was still there, and I was like, can you take a picture of me and Chris and Carrie? And Carrie's like, me. I was just getting the picture. She's like, I'm tired. I'm like, we're all tired. So we took a picture, and then he's like, okay, great. I'm like, okay, have safe trips, blah, blah. And then they left. And then I said to Stephanie, and I was just like, I'm so sorry. My name is Cinzia, because we had not actually introduced ourselves at that point. And I was like, my phone is dead, and that's why.
You didn't have your charger with you?
I did for the concert, but then I left it in the room when we had gone back.
Right.
So I'm not sharing. So there you go. So
yeah, there you go. There it is.
There he is. Look how happy
and it's
he
great
is.
because his arm is okay now, so he can do
his arm is okay. And then I was like, son of a bitch. I was on the wrong side because I always have like stupid hair on that side. I should have been on Carrie's side. But it was
a cute picture.
But it was a cute picture of us, and we're all so freaking tired, but it was great. And then she's like, I'll send it to you later. Because my phone is whatever, so dying or something, or she needed Wi-Fi. And I was like, okay, no problem. But anyways, it was like nice picture.
That's wonderful.
So there you go.
So happy
I
for you,
feel like it all worked out.
We
in
all
the end.
got
everyone
VIP.
enjoyed it. End of the night.
Yes. So they will be doing more shows. So check out on O-Town Official. Some of them are Smash Mouth, but for the majority of them, it's actually with BB Mac.
Yeah, that would have been cool to see BB Mac.
It would have been great to see BB Mac. But yeah, so they're touring all summer. Go check them out.
They should also come to Toronto. That would have been fun because they also talked about Toronto.
They're looking at in the
meet and greet.
In the meet and greet, they were talking about how they knew they were famous when they got big in Toronto because there were some events that had happened.
Yes, on Kiss 92 with Tarzan Dan.
And they're like,
usually they have like interviews with radio stations and they have it big. It was kind of like
there.
It was kind of like Much Music. But
Sorry, what are you talking about?
when O-Town was at Kiss 92. I think I was there. Because I remember, I think I got Ashley to sign the Lunar CD.
Because
Oh, yes, you were. Yes,
they
you were.
closed the street,
They
kind
closed
of
the
like how it
street,
was
yeah.
in New York.
So they said, oh, it was like crazy, all these people. So that's when they kind of knew they were big. So we're all like, that's great. Please come back to
Yeah,
Toronto
come to
area.
Toronto.
Again.
And they're
Yeah.
like, we're working on it. We're like, okay.
Because I remember listening to the radio at that point. Anytime like boy banders would come, I would listen. So yeah, to support.
And I was like, I made you bears and gave that looked like you and gave them to you at a mall. So it was
Mm-hmm.
pretty funny. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was a good time. They always put on a great show. They have tons of energy, O-Town. And
Because it was black and white Kiss 92.
yes.
Because
The
now it's like
jerseys.
colorful one.
Okay, I'm like, what are you talking
It's
about?
a radio
Okay.
station.
They
come
had
on.
like hockey jerseys that were black, white, and gray that said Kiss 92.
Oh, okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Some other boy banders did. Anyways,
Sorry, it
neither
was just
here nor there.
nostalgic. It was
So yeah, so
nostalgic.
that is they knew they were famous when they were big in Toronto.
Okay.
Yes.
O-Town.
O-Town,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, so that's pretty much the
All in all, a great show and time.
Yes.
It was great to go to sound check.
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
They just sound so good. Like they can do
Yes.
acoustic.
I
They
re-
have
yeah.
a great.
I
was
think
a
it
good-
helped like Jacob was saying, the
hallway.
hallway really like had acoustic. I
They
don't
had a
know.
good sound to
Yeah.
it. So really like it was good.
That's
good
great.
times. Yes.
That's great. And I'm glad I got to go because I have no money. So I was like, whoa, I get to go to a concert and have buffet dinner.
And
Thank you,
And do
Alan.
like a meet and greet.
And I got a free meet and greet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes.
budget friendly, guys. Make
Yeah.
friends
Yeah.
with someone who's a big gambler. All right. I'm just kidding.
Woo!
Thank you,
Okay.
Alan.
But all in all,
Thank
2
you.
thumbs
appreciate you,
up.
Alan. Thanks for letting me
Thanks,
stay
Alan.
over.
Yes, thanks,
Yes.
Alan.
All right. Anything else we got to say? We're
I
done.
got
No, it was
nothing.
great.
Okay. Thanks for taking a break with us, guys.
Until next time.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.